Manchester City were breathing down our necks and would have leapfrogged us into fourth. So this clash between Pep Guardiola and his disciple Enzo Maresca was just going to show us how far we have come since our opening day defeat against Manchester City at Stamford Bridge. There was no surprises in the team news for Chelsea except for captain Reece James starting in back-to-back Premier League games, and Pep wasted no time bringing his two winter acquisitions straight into the lineup. Egyptian Omar Marmoush, who had the number 7 on his back, and 20-year-old centre-half Abdukodir Kusanov from Uzbekistan. And in the third minute, we get an absolute gift from the debutant centre-half as his back pass header fell short to Nico Jackson, who nipped in, unselfishly squares it to Noni Madueke to give Chelsea the early lead. Dream scenario for us, but Kusanov's start was starting in to be a nightmare. He was giving the ball away needlessly. He picked up an early yellow card. You really did feel for him. It was a baptism by fire. But 9 minutes in, we have to score. We have to make it 2-0. Chalobah's front foot play from centre-half as very good as he hits the through pass to Palmer, who's through on goal, but decides to square it to Nico Jackson, who could have hit it first time, but the chance was gone. Too unselfish maybe by Cole, but come on, man, you cannot spurn an opportunity like that. And right down the other hand, in the very next attack, Foden hit the post, so the game was very much full on. We were playing in a mid-block, very much a 4-2-3-1 shape, which you don't really see very often under Maresca. And despite just keeping 35% of possession, it could and should have been 2-0. City's midfield three of Gundogan, Kovacic and Bernardo Silva were looking tired and Haaland completely anonymous. Marmoush, however, was looking dangerous on debut. But 20 minutes in, I was just making a note on the side. 20 minutes in, I'm calm. But the only real stress was Sanchez looking too cocky. It was just written in a bit of jest, and you'll find out soon after as to why that wasn't in jest. But I seem to be watching the same movie every game. We take the lead early, we play well in the first 20, do not capitalize and allow the other team back in the game. And surely enough, 22 minutes in, City finally wake up with good quick passing in midfield. Guardiola flashed it across goal to Marmoush, but he was off. Still no shot on target, but the first warning shot was fired. For City, I thought only Matheus Nunes, being the only source of width on the right-hand side, was a bit curious, and Kusanov as that right-sided centre-half showed that right-hand side maybe be a source of weakness for City, and we needed to see a lot more from Jadon Sancho on that left-hand side. But 24 minutes in, I thought Guardiola has to score, man. It was the first time we looked a mess at the back. Guardiola chops in on his weaker right foot and fired over. It surely had to be 1-1. I thought Marmoush and Guardiola were their most potent attackers for Manchester City. Marmoush had a goal chalked off for offside. They were getting closer and closer. That equalizer felt inevitable. Our midfield needed help. But around the 35-minute mark, I'm seeing Chelsea stop playing altogether. And I just think they wanted to take the lead into half-time because we haven't been playing well in the second half of games for a couple of months now. So we went from a mid-block to a deep block in order to protect, but we don't protect well. In the 40th minute, there was a great pick out by Kovacic. The run and take by Guardiola on his chest was exquisite, and I thought for sure, but his effort went just wide. I thought maybe it's our day, but that equalizer felt inevitable at that point. But when the goal comes, it comes with another moment of absolute shambles at the back. The goal was coming, but yuck, man. Not that way. Noni was caught napping, playing everyone onside, Cuckoo and Sanchez in full panic mode, and Guardiola scores. He deserved a goal, but not in that way, man. It's 1-1, and both goals are comical for a game of this magnitude. It's 1-1 at the break, but a larger issue at play. We stopped playing completely after 20 minutes. It has been the consistent theme over this 6-run game where we had just the one win in that 6-run game against 19th place Wolves. We score early and then something happens. At this stage of the season, it looks like we just have 20 to 25 minutes of good footy within us. It is very good football, but after that, it's fair game. This is why when clear-cut chances come our way and we don't take him, yeah, man, it will cost us. But in this case, I think City didn't allow us to play. We didn't show any maturity on the ball. It was more rushed. We were just trying to be quick rather than trying to sustain an attack on the edge of their box. It was a bit of a sinking feeling at halftime as I didn't know how Maresca would change in the second half. Personnel wise, maybe Neto on for either winger, but not having Romeo Lavia or any other midfielder is really hurting us. Just to have that potential option of going with the three in midfield, just to grab some control in the game. But our right hand side was completely anonymous and we needed Reece James to give us more. Half time, I was stressed. I was thinking maybe was Enzo Fernandez rushed back? I'm not surprised because he'd missed the game in midweek, but with no options, he had to play. We have no options. We do, but on loan. I mean, Romeo Lavia is using this season as a recovery season. He's now expected to be back where mid-March maybe, and you see Enzo and Caicedo are being used as a bar of soap, and it really does show, man. Enzo already with a small injury, and if Caicedo picks up an injury, which I wouldn't be surprised about, I'm waving the white flag, man. But in the second half, we went from a back four to a back three in that second half with Reece James inverting from right back into midfield, and our back three of Chalobah, Colville and Cucurella would just allow us to control the game. And it's much better. Without making a change, Maresca has made a big change. City had, just 2 touches in the box in the 15 minutes since halftime, but one of them came from Levi Colville's misjudgment, allowing Erling Haaland to get his first shot off. A big moment, but our in-game shift I felt was working, and it was more of an even contest, but we were lacking that attacking impetus. City were playing a lot more direct to Haaland just to bypass our midfield to go 1v1 with our centre half, and their 2 best chances in the second half came from that tactic. But with just about 20 minutes to go, City scores, and it is yet another long ball which should have been dealt with. Sanchez comes out for no reason whatsoever and is left in no man's land, and he gets chipped by Haaland to make it 2-1. It is the killer goal. I mean, the first goal was a mess, and for this one, Sanchez's decision making is scandalous and it kills us. This is his 5th mistake directly leading to a goal this season, the most in Europe. He did it again in midweek against Wolves, but we got away with that one. I can't understand. I mean, how does he have the full trust of the manager when the players and fans have none? That can't be right. Look, if it were a 70, 80 million pound goalkeeper, I can understand. But you're willing to die on this hill? The 20 million third choice Brighton keeper? I mean, what the hell, man? Jorgensen was brought in the summer from Villarreal and has been fairly decent when he has seen it, and surely has to be given a run of games now. It's time. I mean, you cannot accept these kind of mistakes. They're not even schoolboy. They're almost sabotage. Look, when City play, they hammer home some harsh home truths about your team, and you find out in a slow and arduous manner. Their experienced midfield just popped it around us, and at no point did I think that we would equalize. Nkunku came in the 60th minute? For what? I mean, farewell minutes? I mean, sure, it was a pointless sub because he doesn't offer anything there. In the 80th minute, that was the only time we camped outside their box, and I'm using the word camped very generously. I wanted to see if we had it in us to at least pull an equalizer, considering how poor we've been in the second halves. But nah, man, it was blunt. Look, I saw the stat that City have dropped 14 points in the league, 8 in the Champions League from winning positions. That's an insane stat. That just shows you that they have a soft underbelly this season. But could we capitalize on that frailty? Nah. Instead, Foden adds the dagger in the 87th minute, running half the pitch and slotting it past Sanchez to give City their 4th win in the last 5 league games to get into the top 4 after pretty much foregoing the first half of the season. Chelsea are in 6th, man, on the other hand, and we are level on points with 7th place Bournemouth, who are absolutely flying under Andoni Iraola. 5-0 against a Nuno side. No one has done that to Nottingham Forest this season. They have beaten City, they've beaten Arsenal, and then now they've put 5 past Forest, who've had one of the best defenses in the league up until then. And just look at their injury list. Look at their squad and how they're punching well above their weights and how we have completely fallen off. So what's the solution? Buy players? I mean, surely that can't be the answer now, considering the outlay we've already put in. We've bought players. Use them. We have 2 excellent young midfielders in Ugochukwu and Santos, both on loan, a 6 and an 8. Bring one back, because Romeo Lavia will give us 5 games at best this season, and our pivot is running on fumes. Look, this summer window has set us back heavily, and this is with money spent. Self-induced problems, all self-induced problems. Are we going to have to spend more money to solve the problems that have come from spending money? I'm not sure, because the midfield can be sorted in-house. But a backup striker is critical, as Nkunku might and should be on his way out, as he isn't an option and he's just being shoehorned into as a backup number 9. He offers us nothing there. I look at our wingers, they're not reliable wingers, but I think that is a problem for later, because between Neto, Madueke, Sancho and Tyreek George from the academy, we should be able to get by for the next 3 months. But my goodness, man, Maresca needs to find a way to get Felix in the mix or bin him as quickly as possible and cut our losses. Look, as I said before, we have a lot of problems, and if Caicedo misses game times, seriously, I'm out. This is turning into be a precarious position for Chelsea now. And on the final note, I just want to sign off by saying that since our Champions League win against Manchester City in Porto in 2021, we haven't beaten Manchester City in 11 games, 9 losses and 2 draws. That is a terrible record. That trophy truly did come at a price.